talk about our skin, the largest organ that we as humans have, and sometimes the most controversial one as well, though that kind of depends on where you come from. As you probably know, our skin can be a range of different colors, and sadly enough, it's that aspect to have played a pivotal role in shaping human history. I only hope that this sounds crazy to some of you, but then does it? Turns out, colorism is a pretty ugly problem around the world, leave alone racism. But why is it that way? Are humans just born with these biases, or are they conditioned to discriminate in that manner? In today's video, I'll try to explain to you exactly what's caused the human population to believe certain skin tones are better than others. But before that, let me quickly welcome you to my channel, where I'll be posting commentaries critiquing pretty much everything on the internet and off it. So if anything that interests me interests you too, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click on the bell icon because, well, you know the drill. That's how YouTube will notify you every time I share something new. Now, to truly understand why we classify ourselves in terms of colors, we have to go back to the origin of race as a concept. In the mid to late 1600s, a lot of people started publishing old ideas, trying to use science to prove that if people didn't look like them, then obviously they belonged to a different race. The thing is that the science of the day supported that claim, and a lot of people came to believe it, with cultures across the world widely accepting the idea. But science today proves that genetically, all of us belong to one race, the human race. Varying factors that set us apart, like skin color or physical features, are merely signs of our adaptation to the environment, but essentially we're all the same race. The problem though is that as science changed, culture did not. So when someone is being racist, it's not on scientific terms at all, but just cultural terms, because science states specifically that all humans belong to the same race. Let's look at an example to understand this better. Chihuahuas and Great Danes have massive differences in appearance because of their individual adaptations, but still, they both belong to the canine family. The same logic applies to us humans. You can tell because animals belonging to the same species are referred to as a population, and though they may hail from different geographical locations, they can still interbreed with each other. However, this outdated debate goes back all the way to the time of scientific racism, when it was commonly believed that empirical evidence exists to justify the racial profiling of the human species. A major contributor to this idea was a French physician named Francois Bernier, who in his work as early as in 1684 suggested that all humans that look different scientifically are a different race. This idea kind of snuck its way into mainstream science, which became much more influential on all humans over time. In 1735, a Swedish taxonomist named Carl Linnaeus divided the human species Homo sapiens into 4 continental varieties: Europaeus, Asiaticus, Americanus, and Afer, associating each with a different kind of humor: sanguine, melancholic, choleric, and phlegmatic. For instance, he described Homo sapiens europaeus as being active, acute, and adventurous, while differentiating Homo sapiens afer as being crafty, lazy, and careless. Moving on to the German anthropologist Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, who apparently found himself trapped in the culture of his time despite having an anti-racist mindset. As a naturalist, he taught comparative anatomy and concluded that mankind could be classified into 5 distinct races. In 1775, he identified the 5 groups as Caucasians, Mongolians, Americans, Malayans, and Ethiopians, assigning a specific color to each. White was designated to Caucasians, people of European, Middle Eastern, and North African origin. Yellow was designated to Mongolians, people from all of East Asia and parts of Central Asia. Red was designated to Americans, the native Indians in America. Brown was designated to Malayans, people from Southeast Asia and the Pacific Islands, while black was designated to Ethiopians, those originating from sub-Saharan Africa. As a matter of fact, Blumenbach was the first person to use the terms white race and black race to explain his rather unsound work. At some point in his life, he also suggested that all of humanity stemmed from the Caucasian race and that the Ethiopian race was just a degenerated version of the former because of its exposure to difficult environmental conditions like the sun's heat and poor diet. If that were not enough, he also said that their degenerative state could be reversed with proper environmental control, and that all contemporary forms of man could revert to the original Caucasian race if they so desired. As outrageous as these views might seem today, they were not the worst to be held by Blumenbach. At the time, the most radical thought he had was that Jews belonged to no race because, well, They simply had no choice. So as you can imagine, by publishing his work, Blumenbach managed to break up the world forever and shape human history as we know it. As well intended as it may have been, his understanding of the human species was fundamentally flawed. Over the next 2 centuries, his perspective was to seep so deep into the soil of our society that even today we struggle to see all humans as one race solely because of the color we wear on our skin. Modern science obviously disproves Blumenbach's claims because research has now found that the first humans were most likely very dark complexioned. As they evolved into bipedal beings and started to lose body hair, humans needed dark skin to cope in the sun. So anyway, here's a chart that science offers. You know a little something that we should probably rely more on than some 17th or 18th century scholar. In 1975, American dermatologist Thomas Fitzpatrick developed a scale to determine how different types of skin responded to ultraviolet light. According to the Fitzpatrick scale, skin color can be divided into 6 types. The first being light or pale white, the second being fair or white, the third being medium white to light brown, the fourth being olive to moderate brown, the fifth being brown to dark brown, and the sixth being very dark brown to black. The scale was extended to a wide range of skin types and continues to be used today as a tool for dermatological research into human skin pigmentation. Interestingly enough, the Fitzpatrick scale is also the basis for skin color that you find in your emojis, where there are only 5 variants with types 1 and 2 having been merged together, and the yellow variant serving as a neutral option to every user. So there you go. Those are the natural skin colors that we have scaled so far across the human species. It doesn't matter though what color you are, because irrespective of your skin, we are all human. So black, brown, tan, white, pasty, whatever be the color of your skin, embrace it and love it because it's your skin and it's unique just like you. That being said, everything I've shared so far may loosely relate to the problem of colorism that so many people continue to face today in different parts of the world. However, I don't want you to mistake racism for colorism, because if you were to look closely, you'd realize that they are both quite different from each other. If you'd like to see a similar video explaining what sets them apart, let me know in the comments below and I'd be happy to make another one of these. You can also share with me in the comments section if you've ever had to deal with racism or colorism for that matter, and how either of those experiences has shaped you. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. I'll link all my social media in the description box below so you can follow me wherever you like. Hope you're staying safe and sane during these times. Until I see you next, bye.
Racism.